Hello, friends. You are listening to the PlayStation Forecast or watching the PlayStation Forecast Episode 1. I am your host, Alex Derrickson. And before we get in to the meat and potatoes of the show, right? It's the first episode. It's the pilot, if you will. And I'm kind of just doing this on my own. I want to talk to you guys about like my goals for the show, what I'd like to see happen with this, what I'm trying to do here. So I'm a big fan of what used to be the old Podcast Beyond. I love the new Podcast Beyond. I'm a big PS I Love You XOXO guy. I miss those shows, and I miss that deep dive into the PlayStation content, the PlayStation ecosystem, the news, and things like that. And I want to bring kind of that back in a way. So that is my attempt here. Is it always going to be just me? I hope not. That's not my goal. I would love to get a co-host in here. I have things in mind, but as time permits and as life permits, scheduling permits, things are hectic. I think especially when this is a side thing. This isn't something I can do 40 hours a week, as it were. But my goal every single week, come to you live on twitch.tv/pressx2alex, later on YouTube, and podcast services like iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, whatever other things I can get with my RSS feed, and try and reach as many outlets as possible. Other than that, I'm really excited. If you're tuning in on Twitch while I'm doing this live, thank you so much. I won't get to the chat until later, but any followers, subscribers, things like that, I'll get to. This also won't be how every single episode starts. But without further ado, you are watching PlayStation Forecast Episode 1. It comes to you live every single week on twitch.tv/pressx2alex. Later on YouTube, you can get to that. I don't have a fancy YouTube link yet, so you can go to youtube.pressx2alex.com, subdomain it, and it'll direct you to the YouTube page. You can subscribe there if you want to watch it later. And like I said, later it'll be posted on podcast services around the world for you to listen to at your leisure. So lately, I have not had a lot of time to play a lot of video games. I recently had a son. I still have the son, so that's good. It's not how I treat plants. But played a little bit of WWE 2K18, just kind of dabbled lightly with some sports games. I picked some stuff up in the Great Indoors sale that I'm kind of excited to get to, and we'll kind of tackle the deals in there as well. So the show's going to come to you every single Tuesday. And let's just get into the news. We're going to cut through the rigmarole here, and let's just dive into the news because we got a lot to talk about this early on in the year here. The first being that for the month of February, the PlayStation 4 was the top-selling console. This came out through NPD. I'm reading this from the IGN article posted by Seth Macy. Sony took the top spot in console sales for February 2018, and Monster Hunter World, for the second month in a row, was the top-selling game. So overall hardware spending was up 55% over the same period last year. The NPD attributes that to growth in Switch and Xbox One sales, which is good because rising tide raises all ships. And the Nintendo Switch's pace shows no signs of slowing down, but we're not going to get whole into the nitty-gritty there. But overall spending on hardware and software and accessories is up 23% over last February, and attributed largely to hardware, but also accessories and game card category of spending. The PS4 Black DualShock continues to be the best-selling accessory of 2018. The top 10 best-selling games by revenue in the US, according to the NPD Group, is Monster Hunter World, Call of Duty World War II, NBA 2K18, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Grand Theft Auto 5, UFC 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Odyssey, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Best-selling games for January, so going back another month, was Monster Hunter World and then Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, that's across all platforms. Recently, earlier in the month, the PlayStation Store had up their numbers, so we're going to get into the top downloads for February for the PlayStation Store. So these rankings are based on number of downloads, not revenue generated. So this is just going to be the number of times that the game was actually purchased and downloaded. PS4 games, the top downloaded and purchased PS4 games were as follows for the month of February: Monster Hunter World, NBA Live 18 The One Edition, Shadow of the Colossus, EA Sports FIFA 18, Madden NFL 18, EA Sports UFC 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and Gang Beasts. Now, it's funny to me, not funny, kind of shocking in a way, to see NBA Live, one, so high up here, and two, to see a list with NBA Live on it and not NBA 2K on it, which is kind of the perennial sales juggernaut of the NBA games. I've played both. I reviewed both. You can check those out on my blog at pressxtoalex.com or on my NBA podcasts that we did. We did a 2K18 review show, and I speak a little bit about Live 18 on there. I think I gave Live 18 a 6. The best part about it, honestly, is the WNBA. That's actually a really cool inclusion, and when the game stays under the rim, it's actually a much better product than once you start doing like dunks and things like that. But I know Live was on sale. I know it's on sale currently for like $5 or $4.50. I actually encourage you to pick it up at that price, but that's just me. I think normally it was 30 or 40 at retail, but the price just kind of continues to drop. Just interesting. I know a sale obviously encouraged the sales of Live, but to see it so high, to see the number 2 game, behind Monster Hunter, is pretty good. So good for Live. I'm glad that's happening, because I really wanted Live to be a better success than it was, because 2K has kind of felt like it's treaded water and made minute adjustments and granular changes here and there. And I think a better competitor for it than it's been, or like an NBA Playground situation, is gonna really hopefully up what 2K brings to the table. Excuse me. Your top PSVR games for the month of February are Super Hot VR, Job Simulator, PlayStation VR Worlds, I Expect You to Die, Drive Club VR, Doom VFR, Moss, Batman Arkham VR, Sprint Vector, and Arizona Sunshine. Surprised to see Moss only at 7. I think that was a later in the month release, but still, really hope to see that higher once the March numbers come out. I'd really like to see that more in like the top 3, because I don't have a VR. I've not played PlayStation VR. I have no VR experience. But that would be the one I would want to check out the most, I think, because it seems like it's the most, conducive to the success of what PSVR is trying to do with its scaling and the controls and how you actually like maneuver in and out of the game. That would be the one I would want to try out the most. Super Hot, I've not heard a bad thing about. And then Batman Arkham VR just sounds great if you just sell it to somebody as you are Batman. So hopefully I can get my hands on a VR at some point, or at least demo it at some point. But until then, that's just the way that it is for me right now. Top selling Vita games. Vita lives. Number 1, Secret of Mana. Mana. Number 2, God of War Collection PS Vita. Number 3 was Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Number 4 was Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. Number 5, God Eater Resurrection. Number 6 was Minecraft PlayStation Vita Edition. Number 7, God Eater 2 Rage Burst. Number 8, Tearaway. Number 9, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory Launch Bundle. And number 10, Jak and Daxter Collection. Yo, as long as people are buying Vita games. I love my Vita. I traded in my Switch to get my Vita a couple years ago. And in that time too, I've had a 3DS twice. And in the time I've had my 3DS and in the time I had my not my Switch, my Wii U. God, did I say Switch earlier? My Wii U. I've literally forgotten it's a system. I've probably played my Vita, I would almost say literally 100 times more. There's just more games on it for me that I enjoyed. I really kind of wish I got into it earlier. I feel like I missed the boat, but I'm trying to make the most of what I have with it. So as long as people keep making Vita games, I'll keep buying them. I'll keep supporting it. And I know Vita games are going away next year in PlayStation Plus, which is a shame, but you got to do what you got to do. And clearly the death knell has been kind of brought on the Vita. Top selling PS classics. Number 1, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, because why wouldn't it be? Number 2 is Bully. Number 3, Metal Slug Anthology. Number 4, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Number 5, The Warriors. Okay, so numbers 1, 2, 4, and 5 are all Rockstar games. That is incredible. If you want to just talk about a publisher, developer rather, that has a stranglehold on PS2 classics, it clearly is Rockstar right now with owning 4 of the top 5 spots. And that may have been a sale, but still, that's impressive. Number 6, Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Number 7, The King of Fighters 2000. Number 8, Rockstar again with Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy. Number 9, my boy, Crash Bandicoot. And number 10 is Twisted Metal Black. I don't know if people are just trying to get Twisted Metal back in the world of games, but that'd be good to see another Twisted Metal game. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. And then going back to NPD, the best-selling, because the games I listed off initially were your best-selling games across all platforms. Best-selling PS4 games for February per the NPD were Monster Hunter World, Shadow of the Colossus, Call of Duty World War II, Dragon Ball FighterZ. Fuck. I'm gonna mess that up every day until I die. Number 5, UFC 3, NBA 2K18. There it is. Grand Theft Auto 5. No surprise. Kingdom Come Deliverance, Madden NFL 18, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege, man. First off, I don't have this in my news breakdown because it was kind of older news by the time I sat down to do this, but hats off to Ubisoft and what they've been able to do, staving off the not hostile takeover that Vivendi was attempting, to get them to back out entirely, to pick up Tencent, who wants to, position Ubisoft into the Chinese territory and everything and expand their market. That is an incredible story, what Ubisoft has been able to do, because it's been, kind of for the last couple of years, right, that Vivendi's going to come in, this parent company of Universal is going to come in, buy all the Ubisoft shares. Ubisoft's going to kind of cease to exist as it is. And they just pumped out commercial and critical success after commercial and critical success, just one after the other, with Siege, with The Division, with South Park, with Far Cry, with Ghost Recon. They have churned out so many hits, both, financially and critically, that they really cemented themselves as, I would say, in terms of publishers, the MVP of at least the last 1.5, 2 years of what they've been able to do. It's an incredible story. So hats off to everyone at Ubisoft. I couldn't be happier to see a not hostile takeover not happen. And I don't know, I guess Vivendi will live to fight another day. They clearly have plenty of money, but they've sold all the shares off, and Tencent is looking to expand the Ubisoft market. So that's only that's great for everybody involved, except if you're Vivendi. Basically, Ubisoft won twice, maybe 3 times, depending on how you look at it and how you measure success. But no, that's a great story. That's probably been my favorite story so far this year in terms of games. Moving on to the next news story. God of War has gone gold. In a message from Sony Santa Monica Studios creative director Cory Balrog, he reflects on God of War and the journey that has led the team to this point. This is from the PlayStation blog. So just read a few bits of this. Going gold is an important milestone for a game. In fact, it is one of the, quote, big 2, really. You have getting greenlit, which kicks off the real development of your title, and then going gold as the 2 most important milestones in a game's development cycle. The latter is the rite of passage that lets the team, and more importantly the world, know that the game's development is pretty much complete. All that remains is the manufacturing and shipping part of the process. So, just kind of expanding on that, he continues, going gold means so much more to me with this game. It has been a long and exhausting journey filled with laughs, arguments, and a healthy dose of fear, with a side of doubt. This was the scariest, most wonderful thing I have ever done, and I can honestly say it would never have been possible without the full-throated support of Sony and the tireless work of the incredible team at Sony Santa Monica. This goes on. I'm not going to just read to you a whole blog post because that's That's not fair to you. You can check it out. That's not fair to the PlayStation blog either. Go read the article. It's good. Uh, I can't wait. I mean, I have not been a God of War fan. I've played a few. I've tried multiple times to get into it. Can't get into it. But when I saw that trailer at E3 2016, I was like, okay, cool. This looks good. This looks interesting. This looks calmer, would be the way that I put it, because I've not been a fan of Kratos ever, really. But it looked like a much calmer show, or a calmer game. I loved the art style, and it looks gorgeous, but a lot of like the heart and the backbone of the game seemed there, but it's like they took everything a lot of people didn't like about the franchise, meaning Kratos, and tamed it down, changed the character, made it far less shouty, and I can't wait for April 20th. I want my hands on this game so bad. I don't know. This isn't the most like anticipated I am for a game. Obviously, Spider-Man and Insomniac give us the release date, but in terms of like a good spring game, I can't wait for God of War. It's roughly apparently around 30 hours based off what I've read. There's been a lot of hands-on videos, and I'm staying away from it because I feel like I've seen enough. I don't want to say I've seen too much, but I've definitely seen enough that I know I want it. I know I'm going to play it. And that, to me, is a testament to the marketing for this game. The team at Sony Santa Monica, what they've accomplished with the franchise already. For me to want to play a God of War game, something I've not given two shits about in the entire time it's been around. I can't wait. I'm incredibly excited for God of War. So congrats to Cory Balrog and the team at Sony Santa Monica. April 20th is getting ever closer. I can't wait. I want to play it. I want to just dive right into that thing, because just across the board, it looks phenomenal. Next news item is a Modern Warfare 2 remaster is reportedly only single player. This is coming from IGN. So this is, you can find this on IGN's site. Last week, a listing was spotted for a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remaster, suggesting Activision may be announcing a remaster of the title sometime soon. Now, new rumors are hinting that the game may be single player only. Charlie Intel and Eurogamer report sources confirmed to both outlets that the title won't have a multiplayer mode. This is fascinating to me. Like, Modern Warfare 2 was such like just a multiplayer juggernaut and a stalwart, of the franchise. It was one of the last Call of Duty games I played all the way through, and one of the last few games I remember really like playing online like extensively. But the article continues. As Charlie Intel points out, the listing on Amazon Italy is priced at $25 and contrasted with the price of Call of Duty 4's Modern Warfare's remaster of $40. It would make sense that the game offers only a single-player campaign at that price point. The materials Charlie Intel received also suggested Raven Software, who developed the original game, won't be handling the remaster. It's possible Beanox, who helped to develop the single-player campaign for Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered, could be working on the Modern Warfare 2 remaster, according to the outlet. This is very interesting, because what is a Call of Duty game without online at this point? Modern Warfare 2's story I loved. It's got the iconic, no Russian mission, and I don't know, right? It's an interesting choice. It's an interesting direction. It is what it is. If they're not going to put multiplayer in it, is that going to hurt sales? Probably. But that can be something they add later. I don't know. I'm not one to speak on those things. I'm not a businessman. I don't know what impact that's going to have. Probably negative, I think, to an extent, because like I said, I don't know a game that is more synonymous with multiplayer than the Call of Duty franchise. So to re-release one of its most popular games in the series, especially in the Modern Warfare series, without like its core and kind of like its heart, really, it's interesting because it's not a long game. I think I got through it in 6-7 hours. It's been almost 10 years, so I can't remember off the top of my head, but At $25, if it is, if it retails at that much, that's, I don't know. It's a little high. I think it'd be worth like $20 maybe. That's just me. Again, not a businessman. Didn't go to business school. If I did go to business school, I would not be doing a podcast about video games from a spare bedroom in a house I rent. Next news item. Cyberpunk 2077 will likely be at E3 and will not launch with multiplayer. Again, from IGN, from Joe Screbbles. Cyberpunk 2077 will be shown in some capacity at this year's E3 and won't be launching with a multiplayer mode. Speaking at CD Projekt's Financial Results Conference, company president Adam Kaczynski, it's Polish, was asked about what could be shown at the LA Gaming Conference. We haven't announced that yet, he replied. We will announce it just before. While there is a chance that the announcement could be we aren't showing anything at E3, it seems likely that we will see a glimpse of the elusive RPG this June. So this is CD Projekt Red's, follow-up title after the success of The Witcher 3, which in a way like really redefined the RPG genre in its own right. It's been just kind of often mentioned. Their Twitter account started to kind of pick up with like a very cryptic tweet, I think of just like beep or buzz. So everyone's kind of, waiting for more details about it. And this is kind of where we're at right now. Let's see. Going a step further, as has become the pattern with Cyberpunk details, there's not a great deal to go on, but Kaczynski confirmed that the launch version of the game will be a single-player experience, but wouldn't rule out different plans for its expansions, saying, quote, "First of all, we're going to deliver players a huge, story-driven, role-playing game for a single player, as was the case with The Witcher 3. He goes on, as to further extensions of the game, I don't like to comment on that, but I'm not saying it's not going to be the case, because we already said in the past that we wanted our future projects to integrate online components at some point. When asked about the success of the Switch, and if that affected the platform CD Projekt Red is targeting, Kaczynski all but ruled out a version of Cyberpunk for Nintendo's console. When talking about our larger games, we are focusing on the strongest devices out there, the high-spec PCs and consoles. We don't plan Nintendo Switch releases for now," which makes total sense. I mean, if y'all have seen the WWE 2K18 on Switch videos, it's not good. It moves at like 7 frames per second. And that's not to say the Switch, that's the Switch's fault. That's obviously, Ukes and the team at Take-Two and 2K Sports and everything. That onus more falls on them. But we know when a game comes out on Switch, unless it is like a straight up sole Nintendo property, it is going to be scaled down. It is going to kind of be for bigger releases, obviously. But it handles Skyrim fine. I with the size of this and what I think the expectations are for it, leaving it off the Switch makes a lot of sense. I'd be incredibly shocked. I would eat my shoe and this desk if it meant that this was coming to Switch. We got another hint that Cyberpunk could bridge the gap between the current generation of consoles and the next. Kaczynski also said, "Technology-wise, Cyberpunk is very advanced. Our technology is ready to interface with future generations. The game is developed in such a way that they can use very powerful future equipment. But I cannot tell you more beyond that today, as no future generation of consoles has been announced." So there's some breadcrumbs there, right, for this game. It's probably going to be a PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox, whatever the fuck Microsoft is going to call that next system, because I don't understand their naming conventions. So that's kind of where we're at. The game's already been confirmed to not have microtransactions, single player, and possibly multiplayer down the road. I don't know. Neither do they. It seems like they're not ruling it out. But there's also rumors that came out in a later news story that CD Projekt Red is looking to develop another AAA game on top of Cyberpunk. So they've got a lot of irons in the fire, or they're starting to. So as they start stoking the Cyberpunk fire, I'm interested to see what else comes out of them, because I missed the boat on The Witcher. I don't have time to play The Witcher. I can't sink that much time into a game anymore, nor do I think I ever could. I kind of have to cap out at like 30 hours, 30, maybe 40, just kind of depending on what's there. But yeah, The Witcher is too much for me. That is too much game for me to handle. Moving on, the demo for Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, is back at the PlayStation Store. This was after, so Sega puts out the demo, right, for Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. And it was found out there's an exploit within the demo that players that downloaded it were able to basically access the whole game for free. So totally not a demo. Not a demo at all. It was the whole game. The demo was pulled, and it was pulled from systems. And then it's been reissued now with it corrected. So this is from the PlayStation blog. The data that you do does carry over to the full game when it comes out on April 17th. So it states whether you played it during its initial release or you downloaded it today for the first time, your save data will still carry over to the full version of Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, when it releases on April 17th. Any trophies you earned in the demo will need to be re-earned, but hopefully you won't mind performing a few more feats of thug bashing strength, and of course nothing will happen to your account if you already downloaded it and played it before. So there's a new Yakuza 6 game, Yakuza 6 is coming out. So the demo is available. So some of the things you can do in the demo per this entry, got some karaoke. Neat. You can do all your karaoke goodness. You can swing by your cat cafes. You can lift some weights. I'm kind of just looking at the screenshots and briefly just picking some words out and stringing them together. So on a final note, all of these activities will confer experience to Kairu. I've never played a Yakuza game. It's really showing. Giving you the chance to unlock new heat actions and build up your stats. And as mentioned, all of this progress will transfer over to the full game upon its release on April 17th. So they've rebounded nicely from accidentally giving away the whole game temporarily. So that demo is up on the PlayStation Store. So if you're a Yakuza fan and you want to check out Yakuza 6, you have the means to. Last bit of news here. Let's see. The Zone of the Enders, the Second Runner remaster, has been pushed to September. This came from Polygon. This was initially going to come out in the spring, and it has been pushed to September of this year. So it'll be a 4K remaster of the second Zone of the Enders game. There will be VR support, and I think it's coming out on PC as well, but we're not here to talk about PC, are we? Final bit of news are the new dates and games that have been announced, and there are a slew that we have to go through. So on the PlayStation blog, there is an article of PlayStation VR games, all the games coming to spring in 2018. This is more than 30, so I'm just going to rattle these off to you. So here's all your upcoming VR releases for the spring of 2018. Anamorphine, Apocalypse Rider, Ark Park. So in a spin-off from the popular action game Ark Survival Evolved. So you get a nice little Ark Park for your VR goodness. Chromagun VR, Cool Paint R VR. It's Cool Painter, but it's just R. Cool Paint R VR. Crisis of the Planet of the Apes. Flatline Experience, The Other Side. Floor Plan. Headbutt Factory. Hop Along the Badlands. Island Time. Just in Time Inc. Killing Floor Excursion. MLB Home Run Derby VR. That'll be kind of neat. Nothing But Net. One Piece Grand Cruise. Pixel Ripped 1989. Prana. Preda. Vendetta Rising. Preta. Quar. Infernal Machines. Radiant VR. Rick and Morty Virtual Reality. Probably the most anticipated, I think, on this list, I would say, is Virtual Reality. Personally, again, no VR, and I think there's a lot of VR people that are maybe itching to play this. I don't know how Accounting Plus has done. I didn't see it in the list of top VR games, but same deal, most of the same team. So we'll see how that goes. Rooms: The Unsolvable Puzzle, Separation, Smash Hit Plunder, Super Amaze Balls, Super Kaiju, Siren, The Perfect Sniper, Time Carnage, Torn. Torn comes from Asper. Torn is a mystery inspired by classics like The Twilight Zone, is set in the Vermont forest where you discover a house full of secrets. What you find there are numerous experiments, inventions, gear, and documentation that reveal a lot about the doctor who lived there. However, there are also remnants of a man who's been missing for 64 years. VR Apocalypse, War Robots VR, The Skirmish. Zing! The Land Beyond from White Lotus Interactive. It's a first-person puzzle adventure, so that seems like your bag. There you go. Some new dates that have been announced. You can get into the open beta for Defiance 2050. That begins April 20th through the 22nd. I had no idea that there was a market for more Defiance games. If this is still in the same universe, excuse me, it's that sci-fi show that kind of got canceled after a couple seasons. There was like this massive MMO that was available on consoles. The world in the game was supposed to adapt to what was going on in the show or something like that. I did not give it really a shot. I remember that the trailer was always that Imagine Dragons song, but so that was enough for me to talk me out of it. I don't know if you're an Imagine Dragons song or fan. I'm sorry that you're a fan and that I may have insulted you, but that's neither here nor there. So Defiance 2050. You can get your hands on the open beta for that on April 20th through the 22nd. There's a Monster Hunter World update. Face the fearsome Devil Joe and Monster Hunter World's latest update, which is now live. So the fearsome Devil Joe, Deviljho, has been sighted in the new world, and we need you to gear up, investigate, and control the inevitable damage. So this is the version 2.0 update for Monster Hunter. Hunters around the globe will be required to exercise extra caution while exploring the new world. The Devil Joe, never going to get easier, known for its extremely powerful jaws and relentless pursuit of prey, will start roaming all of the environments of the new world during expedition and quest ranked 6 and 7 stars. Make sure to pack plenty of nullberries and adamant seeds. So let's see. Hunters brave enough to track down the terrifying tyrant will have a chance to take on the special assignment called the Food Chain Dominator. Those that defy the status quo and come out on top will be handsomely rewarded with materials to craft powerful weapons and armor. The 2.0 update also introduces the handy dragon-proof mantle, which will be quite handy against the Devil Joe. As well as game system changes and a number of weapon balance updates. You can read the full list on the Monster Hunter World official website. So from April 16th until April 19th, it's also stated that they'll be hosting the first of their seasonal events in Monster Hunter World, with more details coming soon at the PlayStation blog. Let's see. More of these big updates planned for the near future alongside our schedule of weekly event quests. The new world is about to get a lot more dangerous. So for you Monster Hunter World fans, you got that going for you, which is nice. New games, more new dates, more new games and more new dates. So the Monster Hunter World update, puzzle game Gorogoa is coming soon to the PlayStation 4. The survival horror game Hello Neighbor will be coming to PlayStation 4 this summer. Narrative adventure 1979 The Revolution Black Friday will be coming to PlayStation 4 this spring. Lumines Remastered is coming this May. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection will be coming May 29th. A futuristic combat racer, Grip, will be coming this year. Side-scrolling action-adventure Little Witch Academia Chamber of Time will be coming May 15th. The Sega Genesis Collection will be coming May 29th. Yakuza Kiwami 2, August 28th. And recently announced Pixel Junk Monsters 2 will be coming May 25th. Now, I want to go back to the Sega Genesis Collection. If anyone from Sega ever listens to this show, I love you. I was raised on you. I will always have a soft spot for you. But stop putting Altered Beast in all of your pack-in titles. For the love of God, that's a terrible game. It's always been terrible. It is arguably one of the worst games ever, and yet you keep putting it in everything. Every Genesis collection, every Genesis 6-pack 1 game or 6 games on a cartridge that you did for the Genesis. When you initially released the Genesis, you kept Altered Beast as the pack-in until you replaced it with Sonic, and that's fine, but that's still mistake number 1, 2, 3, 4. Anytime, Sega, you think about packing Altered Beast into another collection, think again, scale that idea back, stop, and stop trying to make Altered Beast a thing. Please. There's nothing in the pantheon of your releases that says Altered Beast should be one that is constantly included. Just leave it out. No one will miss it. All right. Now I got that out of my system. Let's check out the drop. These are new games that are coming to any PlayStation platform. I'll notate which ones are what for the week ending, or week of. Damn, March is going by fast. Week of March 27th, 2018. Atari Flashback Collections Volume 3 comes out. PlayStation 4 Digital comes out March 29th. Atari Flashbacks Collection Volume 3. Atari Flashback Classics Volume 3 brings more classic arcade Atari 2600 and 5200 games to the latest generation of consoles. And for the first time, vintage hits from the M Network. Ask me what the M Network is. I don't know. Atelier, Lighty, and Swelly, The Alchemists and the Mysterious Paintings comes to PS4 Digital and Retail. Liddy and Swelly are twin sisters who are also alchemists living in Maryville, the capital of Kingdom of Adelet, and they aim to make their atelier the best atelier in the kingdom. You want to know? If you ever want to just weed out the fake atelier fans, just give them this and make them read it, and you'll know. You will know right away. Bit Dungeon Plus comes to PS4 and PS Vita Digital. You and your beloved friend were captured by demons. You wake up what seems like hours, maybe even days later, trapped in a prison cell, and your friend is missing. You find a sword in your cell and vow revenge against the beasts who took your friend. Okay. Bridge Constructor Stunts comes to PS4 Digital. Stuntman and engineer in one? No problem with Bridge Constructor Stunts. Build imposing ramps and loops to reach your goal in the diverse stages. Code Realize Bouquet of Rainbows comes to PS4 Digital and Retail on March 30th. Cardia, alone in a mansion on the outskirts of the 19th century steampunk version of London, is a victim of mysterious affliction that makes her touch lethal. Cardia is pursued by the Royal Guard, kidnapped by the gentleman thief Arsène Lupin. This is a rough day for me in words, and joined by a myriad of other handsome men for the best of Western literature. From the best of Western literature, not for the best. From handsome men from the best of Western literature. There we go. Code Realize Future Blessings comes out on PlayStation Vita Digital March 30th. The Romance, parentheses S, so romance or romances, continue. Experience new scenarios taking place after the main story, as well as more in-depth looks at the events that happen in the shadows of Cardia's previous adventures. So, looks like a little mixed bag of Code games. You got one for the PS4, and then one for the PS Vita, both coming out on the 30th. Looks like they kind of play into each other, so for you Code fans, you got two games coming for you at the end of the month. Far Cry 5 comes out PlayStation 4 Digital and Retail. Hope County, Montana has been overrun by the fanatical doomsday cult, the Project at Eden's Gate. On your arrival, you must spark the fires of resistance to liberate the community. MLB The Show 18 comes to PS4 Digital. Your team, your rivals, your buddies, your hometown. No matter why you play or why you love baseball, MLB The Show 18 is for a fan like you. Now, I played MLB The Show 17. I'd skipped a lot since between like 14 and 17, I think. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I missed a gap. Played 17, liked it enough, platinumed it because I wanted to, I guess. I probably won't pick up 18 just because I don't want to play another MLB The Show game for a while after platinuming 17. I'm good. If you baseball games, the Show is not only the only baseball game on the market that isn't an RBI baseball kind of arcadey thing. It is just the absolute best, arguably one of the best sports games year after year. Best baseball game, so much so that it just destroyed all of the competition. So for you baseball fans, be out digitally. Up next, MX versus ATV All Out comes to PS4 Digital and Retail. Choose between bikes, ATVs, UTVs, Me TVs, ITVs, ATVs, UTVs, refine your rider style at your private compound and blast across massive open worlds to compete head-to-head in various game modes. Preda, Vendetta Rising. I just talked about that. PSVR Digital out March 29th. Preda Vendetta Rising is a true hack and slash action RPG on VR. Build up your characters, craft powerful items, battle fierce monsters, raise pets to fight along your side, and challenge epic bosses with up to 2 other friends. So you got some multiplayer VR goodness coming your way in the form of a hack and slash action RPG. So if that ticks all your boxes, or you've been wanting something new on VR, that seems like that might be something worth checking out. Reverie comes to PS Vita digitally March 29th. Save an island in peril on a childhood holiday. With restless spirits threatening the safety of Toromi's island inhabitants, Tai must venture through dangerous dungeons and across a variety of environments to put the spirits to rest. All on a summer holiday. Roller Coaster Tycoon Joyride, PS4 digital, March 28th. Soar through the sky with Roller Coaster Tycoon Joyride, a fully immersive coaster builder and rider exclusively for PS4 and enhanced for PSVR. So, more PSVR stuff there. It's not really listed in terms of the platform it's coming out on, but enhanced for VR. So, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Tempest 4000 comes to PS4 digital March 28th. Tempest 4000 is a visually stunning, action-packed tube shooter based on the classic hit arcade game Tempest. The Witch and the Hundred Knight 2 comes to PS4 digital and retail. The Witch and the Hundred Knight 2 is an action RPG in which you use weapon combos, skills, minions known as tachkas, and armor types called facets to battle your way through unique worlds. And those are your games coming out this coming week for March 27th. Some deals of the day, deals of the week, I guess. This is a weekly show. If you guys go to live.playstation.com, there's a handful, especially if you're an MLB The Show fan. If not, stick with me here because there's stuff for you here too. There's some videos you can check out. Again, this is live.playstation.com through March 31st. So I think you can do one a day, these little quests. So that's all just like watching videos. You can get some MLB The Show stubs, some in-game content. But the big one, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, check out the Aaron Judge Studio Tour. It's a 2-3 minute video of Aaron Judge going through Sony San Diego. And after that, you get a code. It's a 20% off coupon for the PlayStation Store that is good until March 31st. Also, if you subscribe to the weekly newsletter, you should have a coupon in your mailbox for 20% off that ends on March 30th. So check your email for emails from Sony. I think it came through like last Wednesday, so the 21st. And you should have a coupon there. So the coupons don't stack. They don't work with pre-orders, but I did read that since the preloading for the show might be live, you might be able to use one of the 20% off coupons for the show. So if you're looking to save some money there, good on you. So you can have 2 20% off coupons if you've subscribed to the newsletter and do the Aaron Judge Studio Tour. So before we wrap up, some new trophies have been posted. If you're excited about these at all, I like trophies. If you got a trophy that's bothering you, also this is something I wanted to hit on too. So before we get into the trophies, this will be the last bit of thing here. If you want to get involved with the show, like I said, it's just me. There's no one else here. There's no one else here with me right now to do this. If there's news you want to see covered, if there's a trophy you want to bitch at, if there's something you just want to go off on or talk about, just have your voice heard, have my opinion on something, whatever. If you go to psforms.pressxtoalex.com, you can fill out a quick form, and I, depending on, when I get it and everything like that, and however many I get, which will probably be somewhere between 0 and 3 would be my guess, read it on the air. We can, have a little conversation, one-on-one on everyone that's listening, and just kind of, talk out whatever you want to talk about, PlayStation-wise, and just kind of get more people involved with the show. I know I rattled off a lot of links at the beginning and here as well. I'll put all the links in the episode description going forward, so that'll be easier for everyone to access and find. But new trophies. Valkyria Chronicles 4 has been posted. It's 20 bronze, 10 silver, 5 gold, and a platinum. Most of them just look like it's collect all of, let's see, so it's obtain all decorations, completed chapter 4, completed chapter 7, chapter 11, 15, 18, kept your promise with Riley Miller, defeated an enemy ace for the first time, defeated 15 enemy aces, rescued 10 allies in critical condition, watched all event scenes, completed a squad story, use R&D. So it's a pretty basic, I wouldn't say basic trophy list. I obtained an S rank on a mission for the first time, obtained S ranks in 20 missions, obtained S ranks on all missions. Those are bronze, silver, and gold respectively. So there definitely is some work to be done for these, but you can knock out a good chunk of them probably in in one, maybe 2 playthroughs, but 36 trophies overall. Arc Park trophies are live. I'm only really talking about it because we mentioned it earlier in the litany of VR games coming out. It is 12 total trophies, 8 bronze, 3 silver, 1 gold. So you've got complete the new player tutorial, ride the armored car for 10 times, unlock all maps, unlock 20 creatures, collect 6 collecting tools, feed dinosaurs 100 times, unlock 10 blueprint. That's what it says. Kill 1,000 dinosaurs, kill 5,000 dinosaurs, kill 2-3 boss, collect all outfits, and collect 8 dinosaurs. So those are your Arc Park trophies if you plan on getting those. And then last but not least, there is a spoiler-free list of Far Cry 5 trophies. It is 38 bronze, 10 silver, 2 gold, and 1 platinum. Pretty standard Far Cry fare. If y'all platinum Far Cry games, you'll probably platinum this one. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot. Just very completionisty. So 100% the game, you'll probably get 100% of the trophies. With that, thank you for joining me. That's all I have for this week's edition of the PlayStation Forecast. Remember, if you want to get involved in the show, you can go to psforums.pressxtoalex.com. Fill that out. I'll read them. I'll try and read as many as I can on each week. But until next week, this has been the PlayStation Forecast Episode 1. It does come to you live every week on twitch.tv/pressxtoalex, and then later on youtube.pressxtoalex.com, and then podcast services around the world, probably iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Those are the 3 I'm going to try and hit up first. If you like what you hear, you can go to my blog at pressxtoalex.com, where I have much more written opinions, some news. I do some reviews, things like that in my free time. This is all a labor of love. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm glad I bit the bullet and gave it a shot. Until next week, do the thing, guys.